नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। धर्मविज्ञानवैराग्यपरमैश्वर्यशालिनः आनन्दतीर्थभगवत्पादान् वन्दे निरन्तरम्।
ज्ञानवैराग्यभक्त्यादि कल्याणगुणशालिनः लक्ष्मीनारायणमुनीन् वन्दे विद्यागुरून् नमः। वन्दे नरसिंहतीर्थनिलयं श्रीव्यासराजपूजितं ध्यायन्तं मनसा नृसिंहचरणं ಶ್ರೀಪಾದರಾಜಂ ಗುರುಂ. ಶ್ರೀಪಾದರಾಜರು ಸಜೀವ ಬೃಂದಾವನ ಪ್ರವೇಶ ಮಾಡಿ 1504ರಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಳಬಾಗ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ನರಸಿಂಹತೀರ್ಥದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೃಂದಾವನಸ್ಥ ಆಗಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಸರ್ವರಿಗೂ ವೇದ್ಯವಾದಂಥ ವಿಷಯ. ಅವರ ಆರಾಧನಾ ಮಹೋತ್ಸವ ಜ್ಯೇಷ್ಠ ಶುದ್ಧ ಚತುರ್ದಶಿ ಪ್ರತಿ ವರ್ಷ ವಿಜೃಂಭಣೆಯಿಂದ ನರಸಿಂಹತೀರ್ಥದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದುವರೆಗೂ ಆಚರಿಸ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಮುಂದೆ ಕೂಡ ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಅವರ ಆರಾಧನೆಗಳು ನಾನಾ ಥರ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಭಗವದ್ಭಕ್ತರಿಗೆ ತಲುಪುವಂತೆ ಮಾಡುವುದು ನಮ್ಮ ಉದ್ದೇಶ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಆರಾಧನಾ ಮಹೋತ್ಸವ ತಾವು ಮನೋಜ್ ಅವರು ಹೊರದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ನಿಂತು ಈ ಆರಾಧನೆಯನ್ನು ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಆಚರಿಸಲು ಉದ್ಯುಕ್ತರಾಗಿದ್ದರೆ ಈ ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲಿ ತಮಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಉಪಾಸ್ಯಮೂರ್ತಿ ಗೋಪಿನಾಥ ದೇವರು ವಿಶೇಷವಾದ ಅನುಗ್ರಹ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ಕೊಡಲಿ ಅಂಥೇಳಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಉಪಾಸ್ಯಮೂರ್ತಿ ಗೋಪಿನಾಥ ದೇವರಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
There was a yeti named Sri Sripadaraja who, despite being a yeti, enjoyed Raja Bhoga. This was primarily because he was believed to be Dhruvarajara Amsha. He had a Sukha Prarabdha, which means he could enjoy an emperor's luxuries in Sripadaraja Janma. He was one of the pioneers in the Dasa Sahitya movement and is believed to be the first person who started composing Vyasa Sahitya Prameya in simple Kannada poems. He inspired Sri Vyasarajaru, Sri Vadirajaru, Sri Purandaradasaru and Sri Kanakadasaru to compose more and more Kannada songs to drive home the basic tenets of Sri Madhvacharya's Tattvavada to be understood by a common man. His Aradhana falls on Jyeshta Shuddha Chaturdashi. To commemorate his Aradhana, it warrants to delineate a brief description of his life story and achievements. Sheshgiri Acharya and Giriyamma were a pious couple living in Abburu Kshetra near Channapattana, Bangalore. They had a boy named Lakshmi Narayana. The boy used to take the cattle out from home for grazing. One day in the evening, while returning back to the house, he met Sri Sripadaraja Tirtharu, who was sitting in a palanquin. Swamiji inquired the boy to know how far Abbur was from there, for which the boy replied, "See me, see the cattle, see the sun," which basically meant that Abburu was close by. Swamiji was mesmerized and impressed by his cryptic yet a brilliant answer and intended to have him as his successor. Swamiji then went to Abburu and met Sri Tirtharu and sought his help in making Lakshmi Narayana as his successor. Accordingly, Sri Tirtharu summoned his parents and informed Sri Sripadaraja Tirtha's wishes. Lakshmi Narayana's parents performed his Prabhupadesha and handed over the child to Sri Sripadaraja Tirtharu. Sri Sripadaraja Tirtharu ordered him to sannyasa and named him as Sri Lakshmi Narayana Muni in the presence of Lord Sri Ranganatha at Srirangam. Sri Sripadaraja Tirtharu gave his basic Vedantic education. Sri Lakshmi Narayana Muni, per his Guru's advice, started learning higher Vedantic studies under Sri Vibhudendra Tirtharu. After completing his education, he settled in Sri Narasimha Kshetra, which is the present-day Mulibaglu in Karnataka. This place houses the Angara Narasimha, consecrated by Sri Akshobhya Tirtharu. His daily routine included oil bath in the morning, offering 64 types of food as Naivedya to his Upasya Murti, Lord Gopinatha, Patas and Pravachanas. He ran a Vedantic school in Mulibaglu, which had thousands of students and hundreds of teachers registered. It was here that Sri Lakshmi Narayana Muni accepted Sri Vyasarajaru as his student. He, along with Sri Vyasarajaru and Sri Brahmana Tirtharu, installed a Hanuman in Brahmanyapura, Channapatna, Bangalore. While in Koppara, Sri Sripadarajaru installed Ashwatha Narasimha in a tree, and hence the place is known as Karpara Narasimha. On one occasion, when Sri Vibhudendra Tirtharu was performing Nyayasudha Pata at Karpara Narasimha Kshetra in Koppara, Karnataka, Sri Raghunatha Tirtharu of Uttradhimat visited the same place as well. Sri Raghunatha Tirtharu, with the intent of testing Sri Lakshmi Narayana Muni's knowledge, asked a complex question on Sri Nyayasudha, for which Sri Lakshmi Narayana Muni replied with a correct and a fabulous answer. Impressed by Sri Lakshmi Narayana Muni's intellectual potential, Sri Raghunatha Tirtharu named him Sri Sripadarajaru, as he was the king of all Sripadaru, meaning king of all yatis. Sri Vyasarajaru defeated a renowned scholar named Pakshadara Mishra during his tour to Bengal. Observing the enormous knowledge possessed by a young Sri Vyasarajaru, Pakshadara Mishra grew curious to know who Sri Vyasarajara Guru was. Pakshadara Mishra learned that his guru was Sri Sripadarajaru, who was in Mulibagul, down south, at a far-off place. He took great pains and travelled all the way from Bengal to Mulibagul to have darshana of Sri Sripadarajaru. Hearing this, Sri Sripadarajaru was impressed with his disciples' immense knowledge. Sri Sripadarajaru composed many Kannada songs with the Ankita Nama Gopinatha. But once he received Ankita in his dreams as Rangavitala, he started composing songs in the name Rangavitala.
Hada pogona baro ranga, hada pogona baro ranga, ಕೂಡಿ ಯಮುನಾ ತೀರದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಡ ಹೋಗೋಣ ಬಾರೋ ರಂಗ, ಕೂಡಿ ಯಮುನಾ ತೀರದಲ್ಲಿ ಚಿನ್ನಿ ಕೋಲು ಚೆಂಡು ಬುಗರಿ, ಚಿನ್ನಿ ಕೋಲು ಚೆಂಡು ಬುಗರಿ, ಬಣ್ಣ ಬಣ್ಣದ ಆಟಗಳನ್ನು, ಬಣ್ಣ ಬಣ್ಣದ ಆಟಗಳನ್ನು ಆಡ ಪೋಗೋಣ ಬಾರೋ ರಂಗ, ಕೂಡಿ ಯಮುನಾ ತೀರದಲ್ಲಿ.
His Madhvanama is a masterpiece composition in Kannada, which is a condensation of Sri Harivayu Stuti.
ಜಯ ಜಯ ಜಗತ್ರಾಣ ಜಗದೊಳಗೆ ಸುತ್ರಾಣ ಅಖಿಲ ಗುಣ ಸದ್ಧಾಮ ಮಧ್ವನಾಮ. ಜಯ ಜಯ ಜಗತ್ರಾಣ ಜಗದೊಳಗೆ ಸುತ್ರಾಣ ಅಖಿಲ ಗುಣ ಸದ್ಧಾಮ ಮಧ್ವನಾಮ. ಆವ ಕಚ್ಚಪ ರೂಪದಿಂದ ಲಂಡೋದಕವ ಓವಿಧರಿಸಿದ ಶೇಷ ಮೂರುತಿಯನು. ಆವವನು ಬಳಿವಿಡಿದು ಹರಿಯ ಸುರರೈದುವರು, ಆವಾಯು ನಮ್ಮ ಕುಲಗುರುರಾಯನು. ಆವವನು ದೇಹದೊಳಗಿರಲು ಹರಿ ನೆಲಸಿಹನು, ಆವವನು ತೊಲಗೆ ಹರಿತಾ ತೊಲಗುವ. ಆವವನು ದೇಹದ ಒಳ ಹೊರಗೆ ನಿಯಾಮ ನಿಯಾಮಕನು ಆವಾಯು ನಮ್ಮ ಕುಲಗುರುರಾಯನು. ಕರಣಾಭಿಮಾನಿ ಸುರರು ದೇಹವ ಬಿಡಲು ಕುರುಡ ಕಿವುಡ ಮೂಕನೆಂದೆನಿಸುವ. ಪರಮ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಪ್ರಾಣ ತೊಲಗಲ ದೇಹದೊಳು ಅರಿತು ಪೆಣನೆಂದು ಪೇಳುವರು ಬುಧ ಜನ. ಸುರರೊಳಗೆ ನರರೊಳಗೆ ಸರ್ವಭೂತಗಳೊಳಗೆ ಪರತರ ನೆನೆಸಿ ನಿಯಾಮಿಸಿ ನೆಲೆಸಿಹ. ಹರಿಯನಲ್ಲದೆ ಬಗೆಯ ಅನ್ಯರನು ಲೋಕದೊಳು ಗುರುತಿಲಕ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಪವಮಾನನು.
He wrote a commentary on Sri Jayatirtha's Sri Nyayasudha in Sanskrit called Vagvachara, which comprised 1500 shlokas. Unfortunately, this entire work is not available today. However, a part of this is available in Sripadaraja Mutt, Mudabagal, and in Karnataka Government Oriental Library. Sri Sripadarajaru conducted Sarvamoola Grantha Pata with Vyakhyana well over 40 times during his lifetime. Sri Sripadarajaru composed many songs, of which Narasimha Dandaka, Venu Gita, Bhramara Gita were some of his significant compositions. He composed Kirtana, Suradi, Ugaboga in Kannada. He started the tradition of Bhajana Paddhati, which was continued by Sri Purandaradasaru. Sri Sripadarajaru himself used to sing Devar Namas during the Samsthana Puja. Sri Sripadarajaru exhibited many Mahimas. Once, when Sri Vyasarajaru was in Mudabagal and was practicing his day's Pata, suddenly a huge serpent appeared and coiled Sri Vyasarajaru. Upon receiving this news, Sri Sripadarajaru visited the place and conversed with the serpent in its own language. The serpent then uncoiled Sri Vyasarajaru and peacefully left. Sri Jayatirtharu had come in the guise of a serpent just to bless Sri Vyasarajaru. Vijayanagara king Narasimha Bhupala had anointed Sripadarajaru as his Rajguru. Once Sri Sripadarajaru removed the Brahmahatya dosha of Narasimha Bhupala by performing Shankodaka Prokshana. While on a tour to Varanasi, he defeated many renowned scholars. The local pandits grew jealous of him and decided to do a black magic on him. As a result, Sri Sripadarajaru was rendered speechless. However, Sri Sripadarajaru prayed profusely to Lord Hayagriva, the idol he was carrying during the tour. Within no time, he got a speech back and became normal. Even today, the same Hayagriva idol is kept along with Upasya Murti for the daily puja. While he was in Varanasi, he was taking a dip in Ganga every single day. After coming back to Mudabagal, he missed his daily dip in Ganga but couldn't visit Varanasi again owing to his old age. He sat on the banks of Narasimha Tirtha and prayed to Ganga. As a result, Ganga came to Narasimha Tirtha on the northeastern side of the tank, just for Sri Sripadarajaru and his disciples to take a dip. Even today, people unable to go to Varanasi take a dip in Narasimha Tirtha. Sri Sripadarajaru handed over the reins to his disciple and successor Sri Hayagriva Tirtha and entered the Vrindavana on Jyeshta Shuddha Chaturdashi. His Moola Vrindavana is in Mudabagal. On account of his Aradhana, let's remember his deep spiritualistic journey and celebrate his immense contributions to the mankind in the field of spirituality and philosophy. Let's all seek his divine blessings and pay our rich tributes to Sri Sripadaraja Tirtharu. Shri Krishnarpanamasthu. Naham karta hari karta tat puja karma chakinam.